ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये. ॐ. Dear friends, welcome to Geeta. We are reading the shloka number 15 of 4th chapter, 4th adhyaya, the 15th shloka, Evam Jnatva Krutam Karma. The context was Krishna said that karma done by a jnani. Jnani means an enlightened man. An enlightened man means a person who knows that he is not the body-mind complex. He is not the mere body-mind complex. He is not different from that supreme reality. So that is what is a jnani. Jnani does not mean a person who has read all the Vedas. A jnani does not mean a person who has read who knows all the Shastras by heart. He is a person who has realized, who feels, who actually feels in himself that he is that. And when he feels that, he is like that only then he will feel, otherwise he will not feel. That means he will not do any type of injudicious thing, he will not do any harm to anybody. Whatever he does, it is for good of anybody, for good of other people. That is what is called Loka Sangraha. Krishna was saying, karma done by a jnani is not binding. The karma phala will not taint him. So that is the reason why all our ancient people, they also performed karma. So now you also perform karma. You follow their example. That is what he is saying. Iti kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvaih purvataram krutam. People they did it for loka sangrahartham. There one commentator writes, parartha pravrutti and swartha pravrutti. We are all engaged in actions for swartha pravrutti. Swartha means swa artha. Swartha does not mean selfishness. Swa artha. Because our own gain, individual gain. Simple, in a selfish, in a positive sense. That is, we want something, so we do karma. But that is swartha pravrutti. Parartha pravrutti means, I have no self. A person, enlightened person has no self. So whatever he does is only for other people. So parartha pravrutti, he writes. So here Krishna is saying, as a Kshatriya, if you are in that level of karma yoga, you have to do it for chitta shuddhi. If you are an enlightened man, you have to do it for Loka Sangraha. And Krishna very well knows that Arjuna is not an enlightened man. Otherwise, Arjuna would not have asked this question. So we will go to the next shloka, that is 16th shloka. 16th shloka, he is saying, there is a lot to know about this karma and akarma. So what is karma? What is not karma? What is the right action? What is not the right action? Etc. etc. There is a lot of debate about all this. And this debate exists even among highly educated people. He is saying this, what the confusion about what is right, what is wrong, etc., etc., is something which is there existing in all the people. So 16th shloka, it reads like this: Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami yad jnatva mokshyase shubhat. He says, Kim karma. Kim karma means what is karma? Kim akarma. What is akarma means what is non-action. Karma is action, akarma is non-action. So what is karma, what is action and what is non-action? Iti, in that matter, kavayaha api atra mohitaha. Kavi means, kavi usually we mean kavi means a poet. But here kavi does not mean a poet. Poets have nothing to do with this. Poets, of course, they also have a role. Kavi also writes what is called a kavyam for the benefit of the world. Not only for his benefit, for the benefit of the world, Kavi writes. That is, at least that was the vision in olden days. The vision was that Kavi is doing some kavyam for the benefit of humanity. Then, here Kavi means, Kavi is somebody who is a wise man. Kavi, in fact, this word Kavi is also used to refer to the God also. Referred to the supreme reality, Kavi Kranta Darshi. Kavi means Kranta Darshi. Kranta Darshi means he knows the past, present, future. A Kavi, even ordinarily speaking also, a poet is supposed to know what is happening in the world. A poet should not be ignorant. A poet should not be somebody who is a dreamer. If a poet is a dreamer, okay, he will produce some poetry which is applicable or which is appealing to some people only. A small section of the people who are also dreamers like him. But if he is a great poet, he writes for the entire world. He is not a mere dreamer who is writing something, some sort of love poetry or some sort of imaginary things. So he will not write like that. He will tell about the society. He tells about the human nature. A poet is a person who knows the entire human nature. what are the what are the faults in the human nature. All these things he will write. So here Kavi means, we are not referring to that Kavi. Kavi means a wise man, intelligent man. Intelligent man is a Gyani in the technical sense. So kim karma kim akarmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha. Mohita means deluded. They also do not have a correct idea. Because karma is of several types in our text only. Karma is several types, that is, there is what is called as Shruti. Shruti means the Veda. And the karmas which are told in the Shruti are called Shrauta karmas. And following this Shruti, some other Smritis also have come, that is so and so Parashara Smriti, Narada Smriti, etc. And some Puranas also have come. Purana also is called a Smriti. Smriti is what? Something which is keeping in mind what the Veda says. What the Veda says, these people they keep in mind and write this. So that is the reason why it is called Smriti. We know the meaning of Smriti is remembering. Smriti, Smaranam, Smriti. So this man has Smriti means he is remembering. So remembering what? Remembering what is there in the Veda and again composing further in accordance with what that book says. He is composing something more. He is elaborating on something what is told in the Shruti. So here again they also prescribe some karma. For example, Shruti may talk about some yaga. Shruti may talk about some sort of yajna. Smriti again produces some more literature and it says, okay, you perform so and so Satyanarayana Vratam, or you do this Chandi Yagam. For example, this Chandi Yagam has now become very famous. Some people, even people in power, they perform it for getting some more power. So this Chandi Yaga. And unfortunately in Andhra Pradesh there was a situation where one Archaka, he was performing Chandi Yaga in his own house. And some people who were envical to him, they thought that it was something which was a sort of Shudra Puja, something which is to do with some sort of black magic or something like that. So they gave a complaint against him. So it is like that. That is totally ignorance, because we are not knowing what is there in the Chandi Yaga. We don't know that Chandi Yaga is more symbolic in nature. When we are saying that Chandi, etc., and that Chandi is killing some Shumbha, Nishumbha and Mahishasura, etc., etc., that Mahishasura, Shumbha, Nishumbha, they are all the negative qualities which are there in a human being. And the Chandi she represents all the divine qualities. The divine qualities vanquishing the asuric qualities. The divine qualities battling with demonic qualities. That is the theme in that Devi Saptashati. And that Devi Saptashati, which is there from some Purana, some Purana, I don't remember. So that Purana, that text, Saptashati means 700 slokas. Those 700 slokas, they are recited during that yajna, and that is all totally symbolic, absolutely symbolic. When the god Devi takes out some weapon, etc., etc., it is all symbolic. So in fact, there are so many commentaries on that in Sanskrit explaining the symbolism. It is unfortunate that our Sanskrit Pandits, they don't bring it to the notice of common man, because unfortunately the common man or the modern educated man, we can't blame him. We can't blame the modern educated man. We can't blame the modern educated history professor or economics professor or mathematics professor for his ignorance, because the Sanskrit man has never told them what is there in the Sanskrit text. It is the duty of the Sanskrit scholar to study them properly and then to tell all these people, to tell the whole educated people particularly. So anyway, so that is again symbolic. So anyway, we have distracted. We got distracted because I was telling about Smarta Karma, what is there in Smriti. That Smriti says, okay, you do Satyanarayana Vratam, you do some other Vratam. Even in Satyanarayana Vratam, there is again a controversy. Satyanarayana Vratam, it is said, the story, if you read Satyanarayana Vratam, it will appear as though the god is very vindictive. So you have not performed a Vratam, you have promised to do Vratam, and you have not performed, God takes away your wealth. And again you perform Vratam, God gives you wealth. So the God again, it will appear as though God is a very, very vindictive man. So again, that story again is symbolic. If you want to know the symbolism, then you have to read that. You have to read some small commentaries which are already available. And Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a passage. There is a passage in the fourth skandha. In the fourth skandha of Bhagavatam, there is a passage which describes the whole world as a sort of forest. And all of us, we are all passengers in the forest. And in fact, we are all travelers in the forest, and some of us, we are all traders. We are all traders in the forest. We are moving in the forest for getting so much, so much of forest wealth. There is so much, a lot of forest wealth is there. We want to exploit that forest wealth. And in the forest, there are some robbers, there are some dacoits, there are all types of people, there are some attractions, there are some dangers, etc., etc. Just as we have got in the life, there are some friends, there are some enemies, there are many positive forces, there are many negative things, there are so many attractions. So similarly, that is all symbolically represented in that Srimad Bhagavatam in fourth skandha. I think, if I remember right, 14th chapter or so. I think I told even earlier. So these things we should understand, that Shrauta karma and Smarta karma. What is Shrauta? Shrauta is something mentioned in the Vedas. Smarta is something mentioned in the scripture, in the later text, that is secondary text, Purana, Itihasa, Smriti, etc., etc. So, and then what exactly is sannyasa? Sannyasa, if I just don't do anything and then if I idly sit, do I get moksha? So there is a lot of debate about all that. Suppose a text says sannyasa gives you moksha. So I think that my idea of sannyasa is I just do not do anything. I just keep quiet. I just lock myself up in a room or in my own house. I just eat, drink, and then I just sit there doing nothing. So that is it. Is it sannyasa? What exactly is the meaning of sannyasa? So for all these things, there is a lot of debate. There is a lot of what is the real sannyasa. We are also going to see in the 5th chapter about sannyasa. What is sannyasa? So here, so kim karma, kim akarmeti, kavayopyatra mohitaha. So Krishna is saying, tatte karma pravakshyami. I am going to tell you what is that karma. Yad jnatva mokshiyase ashubhat. By knowing that, mokshiyase means you will get freed. You will get freed from all types of sinful activities. You will know what to take and you will know what to discard. You will know what to take and what to discard. Mokshiyase ashubhat. Ashubha means something which is inauspicious from all the sinful things. So you will know how to discard things and then how to do things in a proper way. Then, next shloka, karmano hyapi bodhavyam. This is the 17th shloka. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam, bodhavyancha vikarmanah, akarmanascha bodhavyam, gahana karmano gatihi. So he says, karmanah api bodhavyam. Bodhavyam means one has to understand. Bodhavyam, it is called a tavya pratyaya. Tavya pratyaya means one has to, jolly well, one has to understand. What is that? What is the nature of this karma? Karmanaha api bodhavyam means, what exactly is this karma? For that word karma, Shastra Vihita karma, that is what commentators have said. Shastra Vihita karma means that which has been sanctioned by the Shastras. So we know that, again, just to recapitulate, karma is of several types. Karma means, number one, there is a prohibited activity. And again, there is something which has been sanctioned activity. Prohibited activity, sanctioned means the human being has desires, and these desires also have to be fulfilled. They have to be taken into account by all the Shastras. Shastras cannot go against human nature. So Shastras, they also take into account and then they sanction, they permit certain things, permitted activity. Then again, there is another activity which comes under Karma Yoga. There is another, even prior to that, there is another activity which is mandated by Shastra. That is what is called Nitya Karma. Nitya and Naimittika. We have come across these words also. Nitya means something which a person has to do compulsorily. That is for purifying his own mind, purifying his own body-mind complex. What are they? For example, Sandhya Vandanam is one. Sandhya Vandanam is Sandhya. Sandhya does not only mean, Sandhya actually means, there are 2-3 different meanings. Sandhya has several meanings, not only 2-3. If you see the Sandhya Vandanam commentaries, you will be confused. Samyak dhyayate anena iti anaya iti sandhya. Samyak dhyayate. So this is a very right type of meditation. So that is why it is called sandhya. Then sandhi. Sandhi means the time of intersection between the day and the night. So that is called sandhi. Sandhi means just some sort of mixing up. That is, day and night are mixing at they are joining at that time. So that is what is called sandhi. The sandhi. At that time, something which is performed at that time is called sandhya. Another meaning is this portion is called sandhi. This particular point where the eyebrows and the nose, the beginning of the nose and these eyebrows, they meet. This portion is called sandhi. Sandhi So this is also called Agnya Chakram. For example, these people who are in Tantra, who are familiar with Tantric literature, they talk about so many chakras in the body, and this is called the Agnya Chakra. And this is where we are supposed to close our eyes, and then you are supposed to concentrate on this particular point. That is so that the mind comes under control. Mind comes under control by concentrating, by physically concentrating, by deliberately and consciously concentrating on a particular point. Mind comes under control, and the activities, all other various thoughts in the mind, they slowly go away. So that is what is sandhi, and concentrating on this and meditating further. That is what is called Sandhya. So like that Sandhya Vandanam, there are so many meanings. And why is this Sandhya performed? Sandhya Vandanam is performed not with any desire. Sandhya Vandanam is a meditation, not a prayer. There is a difference between prayer and meditation. Prayer is, suppose you go to a temple and you do some Lakshmi Astakam, you do some Sri Suktam and you recite a Sri Suktam, I want more money, more money, etc., etc. That is a desire. You are seeking something. Or maybe you have a problem, okay, that problem has to be solved. That is very, very genuine. Very, very genuine. If you are having a problem, the problem has to be solved. So anyway, that is what is called a desire. That is a prayer. Here, it is not a prayer. Sandhya Vandana is not a prayer. It is something reminding oneself of one's own divine nature. That is, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. It means it is actually a reminder of one's own divine nature. It is as though he is fixing his settings 3 times a day. We talk about settings. For any instrument, we talk about settings. So, for this human being also, he is correcting his settings 3 times a day and going about in the world, so that all his actions are pure, all his actions are right, all his actions are judicious. So, that is the purpose of Sandhya Vandana. So, that is the reason why it has been mandated. It is said to be a Nitya Karma. So, similarly, there are what are called Naimittika Karmas. Naimittika Karma means on some occasion. So, for example, there is some ceremony, some birth, death, etc., etc. On such occasions, compulsorily what has to be done, etc. In addition to that, there is what is called Karma Yoga, and in addition to that, there is what is called Jnani Karma. This Karma Yoga and Jnani Karma, we have come across very, very recently, come across these words recently. So now, in this shloka, he is saying, Karmano hyapi bodhavyam. One has to properly understand what exactly is this karma. And bodhavyancha vikarmanaha. And what is that vikarma? Vikarma here is prohibited action. Prohibited action, that also one has to understand. Then akarmanascha bodhavyam. Akarma is what? That is non-action. Non-action also we have seen an example. That is the jnani who is performing for the sake of loka sangraha. That becomes non-action because he is a karta. It is only when he is a karta, then it becomes action. Action is there, but there is no actor. Action or some work, some karma is there, but there is no karta. So that is what is akarma. Akarmanasya bodhavyam. Gahana karmano gati. Gahana means very, very deep. Very, very deep, very, very difficult to explain. That is what is karmano gati. So Krishna here is saying this karma has to be properly understood. And the next shloka he is saying, 18th shloka he is saying, he is trying to say that you have to see action in inaction and inaction in action. It is a wonderful shloka for which there is a lot of commentary. I think we have to do it in a more elaborate manner. I will just give the introduction now and stop. I will read the shloka. Karmanya karmayah pashyet akarmani cha karmayah sa buddhiman manushyeshu sa yuktah krutsna karma krit. So this is a shloka which is a sort of test for anybody who wants to, who claims that he understands Gita. For anybody who claims to understand Gita, anybody who says, yes, I have studied Gita, etc., you can ask him. Or if you meet a Swamiji, in fact, I advise all my friends, suppose some people, they ask him, what type of guru has to be trusted? I always say, a guru who has not studied Gita and a guru who has not studied the commentaries on the Gita, in whatever language it is, commentaries on the Gita, and who has not studied them, don't trust. Don't trust means, okay, you respect him and okay, you salute him, I don't mind. But you can't follow what he says because he may not be telling the truth. He may not be telling what is there in the text. He may be telling something from his own concoction. So a person, I also go one step further. If a person also knows Sanskrit, If a person has also studied the Sanskrit commentaries, not only one, maybe he might have read 2, 3, then you trust him. Then you trust him, you listen to him, at least he is telling what is there. He may be a realized person, he may not be a realized person. So, you can listen. This is a very relevant question. Many people ask, how to find a good guru. In fact, in the Google search also, suddenly I was surprised to see how to find who is a good guru, how to find a good guru. There are so many things. So, like that. So, here also, this shloka is a test for various gurus. So, this says karmani akarma. Now, there is hardly any time. Now, I will just read this shloka. Karmani akarmayah pashyet means a person who sees non-action in action. That means he is doing action, but that becomes not non-action. And akarmani cha karmayah. And you are not doing anything, but actually there is karma. So, a person who can see this, he is an intelligent person. Sabuddhiman manushyeshu. Sayuktaha. He is a person, he is an intelligent person, he is the person who knows the nature of karma. So, we will see this sort of riddle tomorrow. Harihi Om Tat Sat.